Hi everybody, John here at All Miniatures Great and Small, and today we're going to be continuing our coverage of Team Yankee, a World War III miniatures game from Battlefront Miniatures. Today we're going to be looking at Potecknov's Bears. Hopefully I pronounced that right. This is a Soviet breakthrough force. It's kind of the companion box set to the American starter set, Bannon's Boys, that we looked at earlier. So this is the Soviet version of that. This is a new starter box. So let's take a look at the back. Alright, so here on the back of the box, we have the contents. We have 9 plastic T-72 tanks, including 10 commanders, 2 plastic Mi-24 Hind assault helicopters, decal sheets, 6 unit cards, and a card template. And here we just have an example of the vehicles here. You get 9 of these great looking T-72s and 2 of those awesome looking Hind assault helicopters. So there you go, let's bust open the box and check out the contents. Okay, the cardboard on these is pretty thin. It's kind of bulgy, but it's got a lot of plastic in it. You can see all the goodness that's in there. We'll go ahead and organize that and come back. Okay, so here we have the contents of the box. First up we have the salvo template. So this is looks identical to the one that was in the American starter box. So I guess we'll have a couple of those. Again, it's just plain old cardboard, not acrylic like Flames of War artillery template. I imagine they're going to come out with acrylic versions of this, but I haven't heard that yet. Next up we have the instructions. So here's the assembly instructions for the Hind and for the T-72. Looks pretty simple. Not much to this. The gun pods are probably one of the most complicated things on here, and even then it's not that many pieces. It does look like it gives you the option to do landing gear down, which is a nice touch. So that's the instructions. Next we have the Ziploc bag with a tank crew. Looks like commanders or drivers or whatnot. Looks like there's 12 of them. Decals. And cards. And we know from the American set that these are the bases for the helicopters. So we'll look at those cards a little bit closer here in a minute. Then we have the sprues. I'm going to go ahead and clear these out and look at them one at a time, but we have the 9 sprues to make the T-72s, and then the sprues to make the Hind helicopter. Alright, so first we're going to be looking at the T-72 sprues. One tank has 2 sprues. The first sprue here has the tank treads, all single piece. The bottom of the hull, we get the gun barrel, hatches and whatnot. Then the second sprue is the top of the tank, turret, machine guns, and other things. So there you go. We'll go ahead and assemble one of these and show you guys what it looks like here in just a few minutes. Alright, so the Hind is also set up in 2 sprues. We have the main fuselage of the helicopter here. Just an awesome looking model. Really large for a Flames of War miniature. But that makes sense. The Hind's not only an attack helicopter, it can also carry infantry. And then we have the second sprue, which has mainly the 5-bladed rotor, the wings, and the various ordnance you can put on the wings. Also looks like it's got landing gear here. So overall pretty nice. We'll assemble one of these so you guys can take a look at that as well. Alright, so here's a look at the cards that come in the Russian starter set. We have a formation card. So this is the Red Banner Tank Division. It's laid out similar to the American one, and it just allows you to create your force. You can have 0 to 3, T-72 tank battalions or BMP mortar rifle battalions. And it tells you exactly what support units are available to you. And on the back it has the special rules. Then we also have the cards, tank battalion. So this is your battalion HQ card with stats on the back. T-72 tank company, they can take up to 10 T-72s for 47 points. And all the special rules that the T-72 has. And on the back again, the stats for the T-72. And we have a second T-72 company card. I guess with the number of tanks in the box, you can have 2 minimum strength T-72 tank companies in an HQ, so you can field legal force. Then we have 2 of the Hind assault helicopter company cards. These can take up to 6 Hinds for 15 points. Seems cheap, but they might be easy to hit and damage. Let's see. So there you go. That's the weapons and all that good stuff there. So there you go. Those are all the cards for the Russian starter box for Team Yankee. Welcome back. We've taken some time, built a couple of models from the starter box. This first one is a T-72. It went together pretty well. I'm pretty happy with this one. The only issue I really had with assembly was cleaning the sprue connections off the turret. I don't know if you can see it there. It's kind of fiddly because it's the actual top of the turret, so you have to be very careful cutting it off the sprue, sanding it down so that it looks nice. So there you have it. Extra gas tanks on the back, machine gun, T-72. Just to kind of give you an idea of the size, here's a T-72, and here is a Abrams. So the T-72 is obviously a smaller tank than the M1 Abrams. Nevertheless, it looks pretty good. So another size comparison. Here it is with I guess an M113 variant. This is the VADS Vulcan Air Defense System. And again, you get 9 of these in the starter box. Very nice models. Can't recommend this tank high enough. Alright, so next up let's take a look at the Hind. Alright, so here we have the Hind helicopter. You get 2 of these in the box set again. The really neat thing about this is that it's magnetized. So this rotor, for example, you can take it on or off. You can see the magnet in there. Makes transporting these models a lot easier. You're not going to break off the propeller. And here we can see some of the detail. It wasn't too hard of a build. The only problem I had was lining up the, I don't know if you guys can see that well, lining up this piece here. I have to use a little putty and gluing these parts of the cockpit that are separate pieces in. But even then, once you glue it together, it looks pretty good. Just a few points where we need to sand, probably right here. But otherwise really nice, just like the other helicopters. The base is magnetized as well. You could have built this with the landing gear down, but I chose to keep it up to make it look like it's on a combat run. The magnet just slots in there. The helicopter blades, magnetized there, and there you go. To give you a size comparison, here's the Cobra next to it. So you can see that, line this up a little bit, that the hind is about an extra quarter length longer. So it's a little bit bigger. Fuselage is wider. Tail's a little bit thicker. So there you go. That is the hind helicopter. You get 2 of those. You get 9 of the T-72s. So overall, a good box set. I really like it. It is on the pricey side. It's $120 US retail. In that, for that $120, you do get 11 vehicles. So each one's a little bit over $10, $11 average. So you're not getting a huge savings, but that said, they are big kits. Those 11 models are big. Yeah, the T-72 is a little bit smaller than M1 Abrams you got in the American set, but it's still a decent sized tank. And the Hind is just a monster. Those are ginormous aircraft. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. If you did, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and keep on wargaming.